Uh, I'm not hearing any sound. I don't know.
Welcome to Google Radio. Are you hearing me now, right now?
Oh, finally.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you very much, James. Welcome again. Just today, we have a little bit discussion about communication and how people understanding each other. I mean, for the unity for entire community. So, because the key word of communication always is a language. What type the language people using um, to communicate each other? As you know, in our country right now, we have a difficult about language. We speaking English, people is speaking Arabic Juba, people speak their mother tongue, because we have a 64 different ethnic group of South Sudanese. Um, some people use their own language, but in public, I saw some people use their language if they are majority and somehow. So type of this behaving, I think, affected a lot of unity. We bring us as South Sudanese together. Uh, because when a type we have 5 or 6 from the one tribe, for example, and then we use our own language to communicate each other at office of the public office, or for example, what the other individual is not understand what we are talking between. If we were talking something peacefully, the one individual feel like it threatened or is not unhappy. Maybe it's people talking for him. So type of this behavior to experience in journalists, a lot of thing in public area. Can you please describe this issue in journalist way? Go ahead.
Oh, my pleasure to be with you once again, Simon. Um, Indeed, like you put it clearly, communication is very important. And for it also to be meaningful, meaning at the end of the day, what I'm trying to put across, the message should reach to the receiver. Otherwise, at the end of the day, I will realize to identify myself making a noise. Because the purpose is, at least in between, there should be two things: someone sending the information and someone receiving it. Like in now, in a situation where, for example, in South Sudan, the official language for communication is English, and preferably the national one is the Arabic. Out of these two, if we maybe decided to introduce in some other languages, for example, in the office, tuzol bijibu rutana bari, bijibu kuku, bijibu acholi, bijibu mari. At the end of the day, colors, those who are not particularly from that ethnic group, one, they will feel like isolated. Number two, colors, there's that sense of suspiciousness. Yeah, and Zolu Bada Salu, what are these people discussing? Because the message is not reaching that person, but Lekino Gasuma people are talking, and
Yes.
they will start. Yeah, the person will start, questioning him or herself. What is happening? Why is this happening at this time? What are they really saying? And in the process, it will cause a disunity. It will make someone feel so isolated and not even welcome into the environment. So that's why it's very, very important, um, in media industry, in offices, public offices, uh, official languages has to be prioritized to make the environment, acceptable. Or the environment should be welcoming, like everyone who is around there.
Yeah, that's right. Because you know what, this topic very important for communication. I see a lot of people complain about these things. when especially the country I am living in, like Australia, for example, the the main language is English, and then they have a policy called multicultural. Multicultural mean bring different nationality living in this country under multicultural law,
Mm,
because anyone have a different nationality, have his own custom, his own tradition, his own something like that. But at the end of the day, they bring them together under multicultural law. At the office of the public office, if we have 5 or 6 people, we work together. We same community. We have the key word for our communication, our language, for example, the language we are coming from, like we speaking Arabic, Juba Arabic sometime, or we speaking broken English, as I said. So when we are in the office, in the work placement, we're supposed to respect the others,
mm,
their feeling. We can is talking special staff room. They call it staff room, like the place, like a kitchen here. Anyone is drink coffee, or some people needs to eat something, drink water, something. The break time, something like that. You need to be far away a little bit. You 3 or 4, you just go on this different side, talk each other in your language. That's fine. No one can disturbing you, bothering you. But when you be inside the group, like a staff office or something like that, people sitting, chatting each other or something like that, and then we try to speak Sudanese language, for example, because I know you are my tribe, we start to talk our language. This is not acceptable, because they look like you discriminate yourself from others. This by Israeli law, that's rejected. But I don't know, because we are in the Africa, it's very different in this country, because it's a developed country. They have a lot of rule for this communication. So I saw a lot of things happen in our community, especially when I saw in social media in South Sudan, uh, like a lot of program happen, like prayer, family prayer, churches, office, government office. People just speak by their language. I don't know. This is the good thing, we can build unity like this. Can you can you describe this thing? Because it really, we are not challenging. You're free to talk your language, but you need to respect others as well. Go ahead.
mm.
Yeah.
One, it's you clearly, explain like what's happening in the Western world, and again back home here, I've moved in all the regions of South Sudan. But one thing I've realized, that South Sudan, we have one of the most sensitive, culture, let me say, in the whole world. There are certain things that can be considered okay normal in the other regions. Like if you cross over to the other region, it's totally different. And that's
Mhm.
where the aspect of communication will also come in. Because at the end of the day, our expression alone, the body language, the facial expression is very important. Now, since we are living in a very sensitive community, meaning it's very important for us to use a common language that
Yeah.
can be, yeah, understand by our colleague, especially at workplace, staff room, what, because what brought all of us together, it's a common goal. And for us to achieve that common goal, we have to move together. But in a situation where you'll find that people are from a diverse background, the 64 tribe is staying together, but at the end of the day, you end up using your own language. Nazel Barauza, they may think like, are we really
Yeah.
welcome here? Hmm? And
Mhm.
in such a situation, it will cause, of course, disunity, and that's where you live and realize people are sitting in groups. Because if I'm not benefiting from what you people are discussing, there's even no need for me to sit next to you people. And
Yes.
at the end of the day, the gap will keep on widening, 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 not until it will reach to a point I will not even communicate to you, even if you are my my colleague in the whole day, because what are we communicating? You prioritize your language more than the other, and someone will feel maybe you are not even giving a respect to my tribe or to my language. You see, that's why it's very, very important that for us to have a unity, we have to have a common purpose. And for us to
Mm.
establish this common purpose, we need to have a very effective communication so that what I'm trying to put across can also reach to the other end. And that person, in one way or the other, might have also one or two things to share his or her input. Girl, okay, if this is what we are discussing, I propose it or I suggest it in this other way around. But now, even if it is a national issue, even if it's a issue that concerns the organization, again, we end up using a certain language, and then we are creating barriers to effective communication. And at the end
Yes.
of the day, we'll have noise, we'll have distraction, and we will have also disunity in that particular setting.
Yes, important. Yeah, thank you very much. This is a very important point you mentioning. I want to say about the school. Like we have in South Sudan, the primary school. They're teaching kids, if English or we teach Arabic or whatever language is they start to teach the children. I don't know. Is the group of kids living together? Are they are spoke their own language or we speak the language? Uh, Most language we can communicate each other like English or Arabic, something like that at the school. You have any information about that? What the children, especially in primary school, don't go for high school. I'm not saying high school or universities. University is something different. Just we need to start with the beginning here because they're still young children. What type of language communication they're using at the school between each other?
Well, South Sudan, we have mostly uh, two backgrounds, like those who maybe a half of their life is stayed in Khartoum and they prefer using English, Arabic, I mean. Then those
Mhm.
mostly from East Africa, they prefer using English. But I remember the Ministry of General Education some years back, they came up with a proposal of having also a local language, a national language apart from Arabic. But the whole initiative died a natural death because others think like, okay, which national language again are we going to add into that Arabic? If you take Dinka, then the rest of the community will feel like excluded. And if you take, for example, Nuer, yeah, the whole thing again, it was uh, tribalized, and at the end, it was even put on hold. But to some other countries, I have seen it, it's working out. For example, in Kenya, if you go to Kenya, much as they have a lot of, local languages as well, they have accepted, to have a Swahili for even starting from that uh,
Mhm.
early childhood education. You talked of primary and secondary school. It's there. In Uganda, apart from English, there's also Luganda,
Yeah.
which they have embraced, and kids are taught of. Even if you are from maybe South Sudan, is still you are taught that you're the Luganda. If you are from Kenya, you are taught still Luganda. Rwanda, same thing. So long as you are in Uganda, that's a system introduced by the Ministry of Education and Sports. So meaning our own learning institution here have a role to play, that for us to now improve and for us to break the barriers to effective communication, we need to subject our kids to a particular, local languages here, so that we'll have that uniform environment. And if they grow up, they will find, of course, English, which is international, then Arabic, and plus some
Yeah.
other languages that has been incorporated into our learning system. But here now, you'll find that it's still that grouping. If you are from Khartoum, you best relay with someone who is from Khartoum because of the Arabic. Then, if
Yeah.
you are from East Africa, you also create an association with someone who is having an English background or something like that. And our environment is still uh, confused, if I can put it that way. But still, it's the role of the Ministry of General Education and instruction to come up with some good policies. And then number two is media, of course. Media have a role to play. I remember during even COVID-19, when schools were closed, as the Ministry of Education came up with policies of having, subject taught on radios, and that alone, I wish like it should not only end during the COVID-19. If they can also emulate or adapt such kind of learning system, at the end of the day, on radio stations we will have a language that is speak to, almost the 64 tribe within South Sudan. But still,
Mm.
we are hoping for the best.
Yeah, in the future we're hoping for the best. What they have to say. Yeah, I think this topic really very important. It's a lot. I think a lot of people sometimes a lot of people send us some messages asking about the why the majority looking for the majority, because South Sudan, if you saw, uh, there is a big tribe like Dinka,
Hmm.
like Nuer, like Azandi, like some tribe, any
Chulu. Hmm.
yani Shuluk and all this group of tribe. Yani Umanabada, yani Nazatu bigger. There is a division start now, and a lot of people bigger lie to their tribe and bigger protect tribe. Lani Bukun more difficult. It's very difficult to bring one of our tribe language to teach at the school in general. I think this doesn't going to happen in South Sudan, and the Hajamagara hasil. لانه people يعني ناس يعني very very يعني انا شايف في attention في الموضوع ده زي الكلام بتاع زول الرسول انا جد. So just انا بس كنت داير اسال. I want to ask you again about the يعني زي الموضوع بتاع مشاكل بتاع الكنيسات بتاعنا churches. The churches play a big role as well. انا شايف
Hmm.
the churches as well. There is موضوع communication is there, but it's not clear because there is a church by the name Bisim Bitanas. Kanisa ta filan, kanisa ta gabila filan, kanisa ta kida. Uh, as a journalist, can you describe this part of this division? They come on that sometimes get affected. They affected unity in general. Go ahead. Yeah.
Hmm. White. I sat with some religious leaders to find out why those initiatives came up. Girl, the gospel is very important, and that's why they are trying their best also. Those who have not gone to school to have access. For example, if you're from Madi, you're from Choli, you will end up getting the message directly in that particular language. But
Mhm.
in the other hand, also, if you take a look at our living now, for example, let's say Juba. Juba is not only for Bari community
Mhm.
because of conflict, because of some other social needs, like someone who leave a village, come to Juba for studies and so forth and so on. Yala environment where we are living, like شكل حاجات زي ده بقدر أصل كويس بكون في بلد where majority, let's say maybe 90% or over 90% تنازل they are local, local whatever,
Mhm.
indigenous تمالك. لكن
Mhm.
لو بيجانا imitate habit ده كمان أنا جيب لحد في town tabielga, it will prevent some other people from attending such kind of particular public gathering. Le um, bikelemoke de kenisa ta gebila kida, de kenisa ta filan. Even zaman fi Bible zatu mafi zola alkelemugal albudugu dusgal le kenisa ta. Lekin
Mhm.
in our own setting here tabielga zol bikelem de kenisa bitai. At the end of the day, bukutu kalas rotan fogo, urotan del nas lo kan gijibu unity, people say, okay, this is a very good initiative. Lekin within Rotande Barao Zatu, ta bielga kaman fit its unity. Nas ge sakela sometimes barasege kasoro, ebe zol bija bekelem no, because pilano min clan kina, ana
Yeah.
maderu. This is the same tribe. O clan
Yeah.
min kida de, ya na dere kunna yede. Ya bukona na dere kun nisim shuno. Leader tanina. O shikilajat zede bag the rasil, asil few ten akalis.
Mhm.
وكمان بيقدر ترجو سلام. reports والناس مثلا حاجة اللي كان يصير في Jonglei State, what happened in Jonglei State, a church was closed, and you may even wonder if Nimule some years back, same issue happened. Even here in Juba, people fought just because we want this person. Okay, we are from the same tribe, but we want this person from this tribe to lead us, something like that. So it's really affecting us because
Yes.
then our intentions are not clear. Our intentions, girl, it is to see like who is leading us and from which tribe particularly. Like Lokana put in a good faith, or can
Yeah. Yes. Anyway. Thank you very much, Madram. Yeah, I think someone need to access, but our time now is finished. This program because talking about communication, how to understand each other, because this is the really key point for the unity. Well, we brought these things. I know we love our language. Like me, I'm from Zande, for example. I love to speak Zande, but sometimes I can respect some others as well. Their feeling. We don't like to make ourselves to force, impose their culture, and I can impose my culture for you. You don't like it, doesn't make sense. Let the people be careful, because when you need to impose something for somebody else, it is going to create a lot of chaos, and then our country, they don't have room for this thing right now, because we're suffering from the economic issue, we're suffering for a lot of insecurity and something like that. We don't like to do anything much about it. We are not politicians, but we just speaking in general as a journalist, to talk about something really affected our community. Madram, can you please give us the last word for 30 seconds, please? What do you tell the audience?
One, Anna Bugul, let us respect one another, and by respecting one another, we will not also impose things that are against their interest. And by also doing so, we will create and establish a very healthy relationship where we'll also have a very effective communication. So let us start to end the barriers to effective communication now, because it starts with you and starts with me as we move forward. So that's my message. And communication is something very, very, very important. And if we can also prioritize this in public places or offices, it will be very important. So one step at a time is the way to go.
Yeah, thank you very much, Madrama from Juba. Simon Pasha with you from Google Radio. Wara bore letku man bugule kum bye bye ana bejeli mu fi samantani.